Have you ever felt like no matter how hard you try, success is just out of reach? Like every step forward pushes you two steps back? Meet Leo, a young baker who nearly lost everything. But instead of giving up, he fought back. His journey will inspire you to push through any challenge. Stick around till the end, because this story might just change the way you see failure forever. This video is divided into two parts. First, you'll hear an engaging story that will help you learn naturally. Then, in the second part, we'll break down difficult vocabulary with meanings and real-life examples. So, stay till the end because this might just change the way you see failure forever. Nothing is free. Hello, everyone. Today, I have an amazing story for you. It's not just for your listening practice, but also to inspire you. This story, Nothing is Free, will show you how hard work and determination can change lives. Welcome to part 1, where you'll hear Leo's inspiring story. There was a young man named Leo, 20 years old, living in a small, quiet town surrounded by towering mountains. The streets were lined with tiny shops, the air always carried the scent of pine trees, and life moved at a slow, predictable pace. But Leo wasn't satisfied with predictability. He had big dreams far bigger than the town he lived in. He wanted to own a chain of restaurants and become a successful entrepreneur. He imagined bustling kitchens, delicious dishes, and customers leaving with smiles. Yet at that moment, his reality was far from his dream. Leo's family was struggling financially. His father, Mark, worked long hours as a mechanic, his hands always covered in grease, trying to earn enough to support the family. His mother, Claire, cleaned houses, her body aching from scrubbing floors, yet she never complained. His little sister, Sophie, just 10 years old, looked up to Leo as her hero, always believing he would one day do something great. One cold evening, Leo sat outside his small house, staring at the stars. His breath formed clouds in the chilly air. His stomach growled. Dinner had been simple, just bread and soup, like most nights. He whispered to himself, "I want to give my family a better life. But how do I start when we barely have enough to survive?" The next day, Leo gathered his courage and shared his dreams with his father. Mark wiped his hands on a rag, sighed deeply, and placed a firm hand on Leo's shoulder. "Leo, dreams are not free. If you want something, you have to fight for it. Start with what you have, even if it's small." Leo nodded, his father's words sinking in. That night he lay awake thinking, start with what I have. But what do I have? He had no money, no special skills, just a strong desire to succeed. Then an idea struck him. In his town, people loved fresh bread, but the only bakery was far away. Every morning they had to walk miles or wait for someone traveling back with bread. What if he could bring the bread to them? But there was a problem. He had no money to buy the bread up front. Determined, he decided to take a chance. The next morning, he walked miles to meet the bakery's owner, Mr. Anderson, an old man with deep wrinkles and sharp eyes. He rarely trusted anyone and had little patience for nonsense. Leo stepped inside, inhaling the warm scent of freshly baked bread. The shelves were lined with golden loaves, each looking more perfect than the last. He swallowed his nerves and spoke with confidence. "Mr. Anderson, I want to sell your bread in my town, but I don't have money to buy it up front. Can you trust me for 1 week? I will sell the bread, return your money, and keep a small profit." The old man leaned back, crossing his arms. His gaze studied Leo, searching for signs of dishonesty. "And why should I trust you, young man?" he asked, his voice gruff. Leo met his eyes without hesitation. "Because I am determined, and I will work hard to prove myself." Silence filled the bakery. The only sound was the distant clatter of trays from the kitchen. Finally, after what felt like forever, Mr. Anderson gave a slow nod. "All right, I'll give you bread for 1 week. But if you fail to pay me back, don't bother coming here again." Leo felt his heart race with excitement. He had just been given his first chance. The next morning, before the sun even rose, Leo carried the bread back to his town. He set up a small wooden stand near the park where people often pass by. With energy in his voice and a bright smile, he greeted every passerby. Fresh bread, warm and delicious. At first, people hesitated. They didn't know if his bread was worth buying. Some glanced at him and walked away. Doubt started creeping into Leo's mind, but he refused to give up. Thinking quickly, he decided to offer free samples. The moment people tasted the bread, soft, warm, and fresh, their hesitation melted. Soon, his first customer handed him money. Then another, and another. By the end of the day, he had sold every single loaf. He counted his earnings, feeling the crisp bills between his fingers. It wasn't much, but it was his. That evening, Leo walked proudly back to the bakery and placed the money on the counter. Mr. Anderson raised an eyebrow, but nodded approvingly. "You kept your word," he said. "Come back tomorrow." From that day on, Leo worked tirelessly. He woke up at 4 a.m., walked to the bakery, carried bread to his town, and sold it with passion. Even when it rained, even when his feet ached, even when he was exhausted, he never stopped. After 2 months, he had saved enough money to buy a small cart, making it easier to transport more bread. Business was growing, and people in the town began to rely on him. One afternoon, as Leo handed a loaf to an elderly woman, a customer standing nearby said, "Leo, why don't you bake your own bread? You're great at selling, but if you bake, you'll make more profit." The word struck Leo like lightning. The idea thrilled him, but it also scared him. He had never baked a single thing in his life. He didn't know where to start, but deep inside, he realized something. Nothing is free. Not success, not knowledge, not growth. If I want to succeed, I must take risks and learn. That night, Leo couldn't stop thinking about baking his own bread. If he could do it himself, he wouldn't have to rely on Mr. Anderson. He could experiment with new flavors, make better quality bread, and grow even further. But there was one big obstacle: he didn't know how to bake. The next morning, after delivering his payment, Leo gathered his courage and looked Mr. Anderson in the eye. "Mr. Anderson, can you teach me how to bake?" The old man frowned, placing his hands on the counter. "Why should I teach you? If you bake, you won't buy from me anymore. That's bad for my business." Leo didn't flinch. Instead, he said firmly, "You're right, but I won't forget the man who gave me my first chance. If I succeed, I'll make sure to help your bakery too." For a long moment, Mr. Anderson studied him. Then, with a small smirk, he finally said, "Fine, but baking isn't easy. It takes time, patience, and hard work. If you're ready for that, I'll teach you." Leo's heart soared. The lessons began the next morning, before sunrise. At 3 a.m., while most of the town slept, Leo stood in the bakery's kitchen. Mr. Anderson showed him the art of baking: how to mix flour properly, how to knead dough until it was just right, how to measure ingredients without wasting a single grain. At first, Leo struggled. His hands ached from kneading. His dough turned out too sticky, too dry, or too hard. The bread he baked was either burnt or undercooked. Frustration crept in. But deep inside, he remembered his father's words: "If you want something, you have to fight for it." And Leo wasn't about to give up. Leo's journey. The price of dreams. One day, after ruining another batch of bread, Leo sat down, feeling defeated. He muttered to himself, "Maybe I'm not good enough for this. Maybe I should give up." But then his father's words echoed in his mind. Dreams are not free. At that moment, he realized something: every mistake was a lesson, and giving up was not an option. The next day, Leo returned to the bakery with renewed determination. He practiced every single step with great care. Slowly, his bread started improving. 2 weeks later, Mr. Anderson, the bakery owner, handed him a loaf and said, "This is perfect, Leo. You're ready." Leo was overjoyed. Without wasting time, he rented a small oven and began baking bread at home. His family was amazed by his dedication. His little sister, Sophie, helped him pack the bread, and his mother made tea while he worked late into the night. Before long, Leo wasn't just selling bread. He started making cookies and pastries too. The townspeople loved his creations. "Leo's bread tastes better than anything we've had before," they said. But success wasn't easy. One day, a new bakery opened in town, run by a young man named Eric. Eric's shop was grand, brightly decorated with colorful signs and elegant displays. People were curious and started buying from him instead. Leo noticed his sales dropping and felt a pang of fear. What if I lose everything I worked so hard for? Instead of panicking, Leo chose to improve. He asked his customers, "What do you like about Eric's bakery? What can I do better?" Some said Eric's shop looked cleaner and more inviting. Others praised his beautifully designed cakes. Leo realized he needed to grow, not just as a baker, but as a businessman. Using his savings, he painted his cart, added bright decorations, and started offering free samples of his new pastries. He even learned cake decoration by watching tutorials at the library. Slowly, customers started returning. One evening, an elderly woman visited Leo and said, "I've seen many young men give up when times get tough, but you didn't. That's why we trust you." Her words filled Leo with pride. Months passed, and Leo's business flourished. He saved enough money to rent a small shop, not as big as Eric's, but warm and welcoming. He named it Leo's Fresh Bakes. Every morning, he woke before sunrise, baked fresh bread, and opened his shop with a smile. His parents and sister helped him run the business. Sophie, now 11, loved chatting with customers, while Claire managed the accounts. Yet, Leo knew his journey wasn't over. He dreamed of reaching more people, making his family proud, and proving that hard work makes anything possible. The fire that tested everything Leo's bakery, Leo's Fresh Bakes, became the heart of the town. People adored his fresh bread, cakes, and pastries. Business was thriving, and his family beamed with pride. But life wasn't done testing Leo. One stormy night, as Leo was closing his shop, he noticed smoke rising from the bakery. Heart pounding, he rushed inside to find a small fire near the oven. Without hesitation, he grabbed water and managed to put out the flames. But much of his equipment was damaged. The next morning, when the townspeople heard about the fire, they gathered outside his shop. Some murmured, "Oh no, what will Leo do now?" Others whispered, "Maybe this is the end for him." Leo felt heartbroken, but not defeated. Standing outside his damaged bakery, he declared, "This is just another challenge. I've faced struggles before, and I will face this too. I won't give up." He took a deep breath and devised a plan. Checking his savings, he realized he didn't have enough to replace all the equipment. Fear crept in for a moment, but then he remembered how he started, with nothing but a dream and hard work. Instead of sitting and worrying, Leo sought advice. He approached Mr. Anderson, now retired, and asked, "Sir, what would you do if you were in my place?" Mr. Anderson smiled and said, "Leo, you already know the answer. You've taught yourself that nothing is free. Work harder. Believe in yourself, and people will believe in you too." Inspired, Leo got to work. He didn't wait for someone to rescue him. He started baking at home again, using the little equipment he had left. He reassured his customers, "I won't let you down. I'll keep serving you, even if it's just a small amount for now." The townspeople admired his resilience. Many started helping him. Some donated ingredients, others contributed small amounts of money, and a few offered their time to clean and repair the bakery. That's when Leo realized something important. When you work hard and never give up, people notice. They want to help someone who helps themselves. After months of relentless effort, Leo reopened his bakery better than ever. He painted the walls, added new decorations, and introduced cupcakes and muffins to his menu. Customers were overjoyed. On the day of the grand reopening, the town's mayor arrived and said, "Leo, you are a true inspiration. You've shown us all that with determination, anything is possible." Standing before the crowd, Leo spoke from the heart, "I want to thank each one of you. You've taught me that nothing in life is free. Not success, not respect, not love. Everything must be earned with hard work, patience, and persistence. Never let failure stop you. Every challenge is just a step toward something greater." From that day forward, Leo's Fresh Bakes wasn't just a bakery. It became a symbol of hope. People from other towns visited to meet the young man who never gave up. Lessons from Leo's story: dreams are not free. They require hard work and sacrifice. Failure is not the end. It's a chance to learn and grow stronger. Help yourself first. When people see your effort, they will support you. Never give up. The darkest moments are often just before success. Leo didn't just build a bakery, he built a life filled with purpose, respect, and pride. And so can you. Whatever your dream is, don't stop chasing it. Remember, nothing is free, but everything is possible. Part 2 will break down key vocabulary with real-life examples. Stay till the end to learn and improve. 1. Defeated, feeling hopeless or unsuccessful. Example: after failing his test, Jake felt completely defeated. 2. Determination, a strong will to succeed. Example: with sheer determination, Emma trained every day and won the race. 3. Persistence, the ability to keep going despite difficulties. Example: his persistence in learning English finally paid off when he became fluent. 4. Overjoyed, extremely happy. Example: she was overjoyed when she received her dream job offer. 5. Curious, eager to learn or know more. Example: the curious child kept asking questions about space and planets. 6. Panicking, feeling sudden fear or anxiety. Example: instead of panicking during the interview, Tom stayed calm and confident. 7. Struggles, challenges, or difficulties. Example: every entrepreneur faces struggles before achieving success. 8. Rescue, to save from danger or failure. Example: the firefighter rushed to rescue the trapped kitten from the burning house. 9. Sacrifice, giving up something valuable for a greater cause. Example: parents sacrifice their comfort to provide a better future for their children. 10. Admirable, worthy of respect and praise. Example: her dedication to charity work is truly admirable. 11. Reputation, the opinion people have about someone. Example: a good reputation takes years to build but seconds to destroy. 12. Encouragement, words or actions that boost confidence. Example: with a little encouragement from his mentor, he finally believed in himself. 13. Obstacles, things that block progress or success. Example: every journey has obstacles, but determination helps overcome them. 14. Resilient, able to recover from challenges quickly. Example: despite many failures, he remained resilient and kept moving forward. 15. Commendable, deserving praise or recognition. Example: his honesty and hard work are truly commendable. 16. Eloquent, fluent, and expressive in speech. Example: his eloquent speech impressed the audience and won their hearts. 17. Ambition, a strong desire to achieve something great. Example: her ambition to become a doctor kept her motivated for years. 18. Initiative, the ability to take action without being told. Example: taking initiative at work can lead to great career opportunities. 19. Adversity, difficulties, or hardships. Example: she turned adversity into opportunity by starting her own business. 20. Triumphant, feeling victorious and successful. Example: after years of effort, he walked out of the exam room feeling triumphant. Leo's story teaches us that success isn't about luck, it's about persistence. If you're chasing a dream, don't stop when it gets hard. Keep going, because every failure is just a lesson in disguise. And remember, nothing is free, but everything is possible. If you love this story, hit the like button, share it with someone who needs motivation, and subscribe to Fluent English 24/7 for more inspiring stories that help you improve your English while learning life-changing lessons. See you in the next video.